Welcome to our third review in our Pixar season of reviews leading up to the hugely anticipated release of The Incredibles 2 this summer, the sequel to the original from Pixar from 2004, which we will soon be reviewing. For now, let's take a look at a sequel that many consider better than its predecessor, Toy Story 2. At the end of 1998, Pixar went up against newly formed animation studio DreamWorks, and it was the Battle of the Bugs, with battle being the desired word, as DreamWorks released their feature debut Ants, which would gross almost $172 million worldwide, against giants Pixar, already well established as a hot property after the release of their extraordinary debut Toy Story, who took their second feature, A Bug's Life, to $363 million worldwide. There was no doubt that Pixar were the cream of the crop, so where to take audiences to next? A sequel to the worldwide hit Toy Story was the obvious answer. Coming 4 years after the original, Toy Story 2 opens in spectacular fashion, centering on Buzz Lightyear on his quest to find his nemesis, Emperor Zurg. This is no longer Andy playing with his toys in his bedroom. The stakes are higher for the sequel, as you'd expect. It's a flashy opening sequence that draws you straight into the story with giddy excitement for what's to come. We learn that it's Rex playing a computer game in Andy's room, and playing as Buzz, he's still struggling to defeat Zurg. This opening alone is more ambitious and technically challenging to animate than anything Pixar have done up to this point. When we left the toys at the end of the first film, Buzz and Woody were anxious over the family getting a new puppy. When we get to see Buster for the first time, he's lively and assists Woody in an important scene. Pixar show here that they can animate humans, bugs, toys, and now even animals brilliantly. Once again, abandonment and the idea of getting old and overused is a common theme in this film, as Andy accidentally breaks the stitching on Woody's arm whilst playing with him a bit too forcefully, which results in Woody being placed on the dusty shelf for broken toys, with Andy's mum's insistence to her son that toys don't last forever. This reality hits home for Woody as he comes to quickly realise how finite his life might be. We're introduced here to Weezy, another partially broken toy that's been placed on the shelf, and one of a number of new characters in this vibrant sequel. Woody's nightmare, where he thinks Andy has returned from cowboy camp early to play with him, is a visually striking sequence. Andy remembers that Woody is broken and throws him to the floor. Woody begins to fall through the black ace of a pack of playing cards thrown over Andy's bedroom floor in a psychedelic sequence that looks fantastic and shows just how improved the animation is in this sequel over its already groundbreaking predecessor. Wayne Knight is the instantly recognisable voice of the evil Al, the manager of the toy barn, who steals Woody from a yard sale and hopes to reunite the cowboy doll with the other toys in his collection and take them to Japan to make millions of bucks. As well as Al, there are a host of new additions to the cast. Woody makes the acquaintance of Jessie the cowgirl, voiced with gusto by Joan Cusack, Bullseye the noble steed, and Stinky Pete, the other main antagonist of the story, given life by Kelsey Grammer. This story is primarily Woody's, as he learns of the cancelled Woody's Roundup, with incidentally the catchiest tune in all of Pixar, and of his fame and notoriety. There's plenty of humour again, with clever riffs on classic movie lines. Slinky isn't happy about crossing the freeway, claiming, "I may not be a smart dog, but I know what roadkill is." A nice parody of another classic Hanks film, Forrest Gump. And later, when Barbie is giving the toys a tour of Al's toy barn, she takes them down the Buzz Lightyear aisle, and Pixar get a good joke in about the short-sighted retailers who in 1995 didn't order enough Buzz Lightyear dolls to meet demand. For Pixar fans familiar with the short Jerry's Game from 1997, there's also a cameo from that same character as the cleaner who Al hires to spruce up Woody and stitch his broken arm back together. It's one of a number of occasions where characters cross over into other Pixar features, a nice bit of continuity. As is the tradition these days with Pixar, the studio are keen on tugging at your heartstrings, and they've rarely bettered Jessie's heartbreaking story, which is punctuated by beautiful animation and Sarah McLachlan's stunning vocals on the Oscar-nominated When She Loved Me. The moment represents the first time that Pixar really make you invest in the plight of these characters, and is a standout moment in the Pixar canon. That's why it's naturally our Crawford-Clark close-up standout scene as well. Toy Story 2 twists and turns throughout, giving us nail-biting sequences like the freeway crossing under the cones, the airport finale with all the different suitcases as a clear precursor to the door room in the next Pixar feature, Monsters, Inc., as well as hitting us hard in the feels. In many ways, it's a more ambitious film than the original, but then Pixar are always trying to better themselves and their techniques with each new release, so that's no surprise. Once again, it can't be anything other than essential viewing for Toy Story 2. So, what are your thoughts on Toy Story 2? Do you think this is an improvement over its predecessor? Whatever your thoughts, let us know in the comments below, or head over to Facebook or Twitter where you can like and follow Crawford-Clark Close-Up. You can email us your thoughts about the channel too, and give us your ideas for future videos. It's crawfordclarkcloseup@gmail.com. Stay tuned to the channel because we've got plenty more Pixar goodness to come. We'll be ranking the Pixar short films, deciding which are the greatest Pixar characters, and we're continuing to review each of Pixar's feature films. Monsters, Inc. is coming up next. Thanks for watching, and until next time, that's a wrap.